Hey there, my name is Marco Antonio, and thank you for joining me on Marco Antonio Strategizes. I'm a first-hand restaurant owner, operator, and marketing strategist. I have successfully grown a business that was doing around $100,000 a year for the past 15, 20 years and grew it in a matter of 2 years. And last year, I ended up doing in sales over $1 million. Nothing has changed except for the recipes and streamline operations and bringing up to date methods on how we operate. And today I want to share my knowledge with you, things I know now that I would have wished I knew back then. I was fortunate enough to jump into a business that existed several years before I came along. They went out of business. And when I started my business was inspiration of a business that previously once stood where I am presently. So it's not a continuity, but more of an inspiration because of the previous business. Today, I want to talk to you about market research, understanding your demographic, and how this can be applied to other businesses, not just the restaurant industry. So, one of the things is, again, like I said, understanding your demographic. You don't want to sell Ferraris in a city where the average income is $45,000 a year. The likelihood of you getting sales are going to be nothing. But let's make it obvious. You would more than happily, if you could, open a Ferrari dealership in Beverly Hills. The likelihood of you selling a few Ferraris every month is going to be extremely high. So, in terms of the restaurant industry, I always strongly tell anybody who's going to come into the restaurant industry, or if you're going to open up a new item, or if you want to recategorize your identity online, and let's say you opened up a Michoacan food restaurant. I wouldn't open up a Michoacan food restaurant. That Michoacan is a state in Mexico. Or let's say you wanted to open up a Jalisco restaurant or a much more niched down, narrowed down view of an item. This day and age, we heavily depend on search terms and search volume. So you want to go for the bigger, broader term. And what's the likelihood of somebody searching for a Mexican restaurant versus a Jalisco restaurant or a Michoacan restaurant? The likelihood is going to be significantly higher. I understand that a lot of people like to open and operate businesses based upon the inspiration where they drew their inspiration for their recipes to tell a story, and that's a beautiful thing. But not to be prude, but I'm talking about money here. And money's going to keep the wheels spinning. And that's what we need to keep the doors and the lights on. The way that I would phrase it to make sure you're being found on search is a Mexican restaurant that features Jalisco style food or Michoacan style food. You want to make sure that you are being found and noticed for these things in directories. Also, you have to understand the market that you're serving. And we can get into this really in depth. We can get into it by city, state, zip code, and country. And I'm going to, in a few moments, I'm going to present you a tool that I personally utilize to understand my demographic market even further. So, for all you future restaurant owners and operators or wanting to reinvent yourself, as another example is, do you want to open up a restaurant that sells Spanish tapas? A dish Spanish tapas is a tapas bravas. Or what is the likelihood of that particular dish and appetizer item being searched for in comparison to Mexican nacho fries or potato fries or loaded fries or French fry nachos, the search volume for that is going to be significantly higher. But I've done enough talking already. We're 5 minutes deep into the video. So let me just show you what I mean. So the tool that we're using here today is known as Google Ads. And the cool thing about Google Ads, it's free for everyone. If you're starting a brand new account, they might give you a promo with a $300 credit startup. I'm not getting paid by Google Ads, and this is just one of the many tools that I utilize that's publicly available to anyone. And Google doesn't pay people out that easily for product reviews, I think, in my opinion. But so you can sign up with your Gmail, go to googleads.com, and go ahead and start going through the procedures. If you have any trouble, feel free to message me in the comments, and I'll get right back to you and see what the best I can do to help you out. But we're going to go over to tools and settings, and under planning, we're going to do the keyword planner. And I've already put together something for you guys to check out. And what I want you guys to see, that what we've been doing here is, earlier I gave you the example of Spanish tapas. And actually, let's remove nachos. So what we're gonna do is, if you see for February 2024, Spanish tapas were only searched for in that month in California. A total of 1,900 searches, and you had 1,161 searches of this item being searched for via mobile. So what's the likelihood of that being searched for in Kansas? This is where I want to give everybody caution on the niche and the item that you're selling. Please make sure there's a demand for this item. You may think that there's a very narrow, limited market, and this may be true, and there may be less competition. But unless you have an extreme bankroll, in my opinion, it's going to be a struggle to push, promote, and educate your client base on learning about these items. Do I want to go buy Papas Bravas, or do I want to go buy nacho fries? Which one more is your clientele familiar with? So let's go look at the great people of Kansas. Population: California, 49 million. Kansas, almost 4 million. Let's see how many people in Kansas are searching for Papas Bravas. And let's give the great people of Kansas, a fighting chance, and let's see what they've been searching for. On average, the people of Kansas have been searching for Spanish tapas, which is an appetizer. It's on average 70 searches a month. And if we want to be even further down, let's look at how many people searched for this item in Kansas City. Just Kansas City. Let's get rid of the whole state of Kansas. The majority of those searches for the entire state of Kansas, from 70 searches on average a month, went to 40 searches on average a month, and most of that searches being done in Kansas City. So if you want to get all 40 of those customers who are looking for Spanish tapas in Kansas City, that's going to be your ticket. But let's change things up a bit. Let's add a new keyword, and let's add nachos, something people are extremely much more familiar with. And when you're comparing your search volume on average is 390 searches per month in Kansas City, Missouri for nachos versus 40 searches a month for Spanish tapas. So that's going to let me tell you, I would much rather open up a place that sells nachos than a place that sells Spanish tapas in Kansas City, Missouri. Let's be fair. Let's compare apples to apples. Previously, I was knocking the entire state of Kansas. So let's do the entire state of Kansas. So we had an average of 70 searches for Spanish tapas in the entire state of Kansas in 1 month. That must have been tourists passing through from Spain, probably looking for this item. But we've had an average of 1,000 searches for nachos in the entire state of Kansas in 1 month on average. And we can see here that spike in demand went up for nachos in June. That's a good time to sell nachos in Kansas in June. But now let's try like a different market. What about California? What's the likelihood that we would sell more nachos in California with the population of 49 million versus Kansas of 4 million? So let's go check it out. And let's get this out of your way. So in California, we have an average search of 22,200 searches a month are going down in California for nachos. In California, we have 2,400 searches going down a month for Spanish tapas. Again, I would want to go where there is a demand for an item, not to try to educate my clients and my client base on a brand new item and get them to learn about it. So that's my opinion on that. We can go even further into this. And I want to be fair to you guys in this market, in this demographic. Let's look at a breakdown by locations. So I'm going to get rid of Spanish tapas for a moment so we can get a good breakdown. I'll bring it back in a second. But just in San Francisco alone, out of these 22,000 searches going down monthly, San Franciscans, almost a quarter of all searches going down for nachos are going to be in the city of San Francisco. I think that's wild. I would have thought it was Los Angeles, but the rest of the region of California, excluding San Francisco Bay Area, because that's what we have. The rest of California takes up 75% of all searches, but San Francisco Bay Area alone is taking the whopping 22.5% of all searches for nachos. So let's go be fair and be fair to Spanish tapas. Let's go ahead and add that keyword back into our tool, and we're going to do Spanish tapas. And we're going to get rid of nachos. %35 of all searches going down for nachos is going to be in the San Francisco Bay Area, 64% other regions. And we'll have a breakdown by platforms yet. But that's freaking ridiculous. So if you're going to swing and shoot for the stars, if you're going to ever do anything on Spanish tapas, Spanish appetizers, I guess your best shot in California is going to be in San Francisco. Let's do another one for fun. Let's even break it down by city. The city of Los Angeles, 19 million. City of Los Angeles, and we're going to do we're going to do searches by city, and this even breaks it down by area. But we're not going to do Spanish tapas. We are going to do something different. Let's do wings. chicken wings. Let's see how well chicken wings do in the good old L of A. And let's remove Spanish tapas. On average, people in the Los Angeles area, broken down by city, by region, we're looking at an average of 2,900 people looking for wings in that area. But, we're not being fair. Let's do California and let's get a breakdown of the whole state of California looking for wings because I know we all love wings. I love wings. So this is a more detailed breakdown. We're having 22,000 searches going down specifically for chicken wings every single month in California. And we have other cities and 68% of other cities, but in order of ascension or dissension, if I said that correctly, 13.9% 13.9% of chicken wing searches out of 22,200 average monthly searches are going down in Los Angeles. 5.9 San Diego, 5.2 San Francisco, 3.8 Sacramento, and then the rest in San Jose, Sacramento. But there's another interesting thing that I want to see. Let's I want to do a research for a seasonal item. What's a seasonal item? A seasonal item that's good in the summer. Let's try a barbecue. Let's see how that works out for us. Because I also want to show you how this graph can show you the fluctuation of you can see the spike in demand for that item. I mean, as you can see right now, along with chicken wings. Oh yeah, well it does prove it with chicken wings. I'm sorry. So, you know, our graph is a little low right here in April, but it shoots up 27,000. No, sorry, 27,000 average across the board. 22,000 average, sorry. So in April, we had 27,000 searches. May 27, June 22, July 27. So it looked like in the May, we saw more demand for chicken wings than we did in June. That sounds weird to me, but they dipped a little bit in June. There was more searches for chicken wings in July. So we just see how it ebbs and flows throughout the year. We dipped in November. That's something that I would expect to see. Me personally, I would think we would see more sales for chicken wings in the summer months. But let's go with something that I know is tried and true, and that's good old BBQ. And I definitely expect to see more traction for barbecue wings in the summer months than I do for the winter. And 74,000 searches on average for barbecue wings. So we're going to start with good old March. And March of 2023, April, beginning of the summer months, May, 110,000 searches for BBQ in the state of California. I gotta know. And then here's the summer months, just like I estimated, and then November, 49,000. These are the cold months in California. 49,500 people are looking for BBQ in the winter months. So this tells me that by far the demand is going to be higher and barbecue is a seasonal item. This is how you can leverage this tool to look at the demand in what you're selling and how your search patterns are going to be a reflection of your sales. I would expect you to do extremely well in sales if this is an item you choose to sell in California during the summer months versus the winter months. Your sales are going to get cut in half. 110,000 searches and Winter months, 49,500 on average searches. But let's get a little more detailed. Let's see what part of California loves barbecue wings the most. This is the rest of California, but good old San Francisco Bay Area loves barbecue wings the most by far by region. So that's it for there you on this one for you guys. But I got one more for all of you guys who stuck around. Oh, please, if you like all the content that I'm bringing to you and you love all of this information that's being given, I have a school community. The link is in the description, and I'll be doing more live Q&As in my community very soon. And right now, my VIP community is free. Once we get to a certain amount of members, we will be closing it off to the public. But for the moment, it is free. So join me if you appreciate this video. Like it and subscribe to my channel and drop a comment below, please. It supports my channel and gives me the opportunity to keep on bringing things like this to you in the future. But let's get on to the next tool. So here we are utilizing the USPS, the United States Postal Service Every Door Direct Mail tool. I personally love this tool. This tool is going to give you so much information on the demographic and the income levels of your clientele. As I stated earlier in this video, do you want to go open up a Ferrari dealership in a community that the average income is $45,000 a year? Or would you rather go open it up in Beverly Hills, where you know there's millionaires who can afford a Ferrari on a whim if they feel like it? So by doing this, you avoid alienating your demographic, and you're not going to be selling food that far outpaces the income level of your potential clientele. Me, I like to break down into the average income of the region and tailor my prices accordingly to make them within reach to my clientele. I do not want to become a destination place. That's not my vision for how I operate my business. I want my place to be an everyday place that a construction worker can comfortably afford to come have lunch every single day. Being that it spot, that Gordon Ramsay spot where we go once a year for dinner, and it's going to be a $1,000 dinner minimum for two, three people, four people. That's not me. And I want to be regular everyday occurrence, not beyond people's grasp and only be visited and frequented on occasions or special occasions. So let's dive into this tool. This tool is going to help you prevent from doing things like that. And if you want to be that, then this tool will also help you get into the right market to people who can afford your services. But as I stated before, understand your clientele, and you don't want to be beyond your clientele's reach. So what I'm doing here, just to show you, is I'm doing a search on Oklahoma City. And we're going to do a search on these zip codes, the ones I just selected. Let's get this bad boy loaded up. And what we're going to see here in this map, we're going to do table, and we're going to start learning that the rural codes, maybe it'll help you a little bit better if you see it in map, but you'll start seeing maps, and you'll start seeing every in every city, um, mail routes are broken up into mail routes. This mail route right here, this little highlighted hot pink area, that's brighter pink than the other areas. This route is going to be postal code 73103, route C002. The next one I go to, as you'll see as it changes when it highlights, 73103, and it changes to C001. You'll see that in this zip code that there's 652 residential homes listed in this route code, 62 businesses, a total of 714 total addresses, and you're looking at the demographic of 25 to 34-year-olds, 23.9%. You can change up your demographic if your demographic for your region. Me, I'm in food service. That's what I care about. All people eat, all ages, and so I'm gonna go after you know the decision makers, which are usually 20 to, let's say, 55 as an example. I could be wrong, but it's gonna tell me the amount of people in that age range is estimated to be at 70%. The average income level of this postal code, C001, is $63,000 a year. If you move up the street, 31,000. If you move a little bit further south, 109,000 people. Oh, I'm sorry, $109,000 a year. Please excuse me and correct me from the previous things I stated. You're looking at $31,000 a year average income, $63,000 a year average income, and it looks as when we travel more south, the income is growing. So these are going to be nicer neighborhoods, higher levels of income. And then let's see if we go further south. Nope, that was the cutoff for that rich neighborhood there. So as you can see, we have a variety of demographics for income level. But let's look at a place like everybody's familiar with Miami, Florida. And let's go look at, I'm going to put this on pause and do a Google search really quick. I'm going to make this more famous or well known. Let's do a zip code everyone's heard of, 90210. If anybody can guess where that zip code is, it's a little cheesy, but it's from the 90s, Beverly Hills. All right, so let's see what we got going on in 90210. Okay, yeah, that's what I expected. Minimum. Your most broke person in the 90210. No, that's borderline Beverly Hills. Let's get into these regions. $221,000 a year average income in this little strip right here. $192,000 a year. So I've personally known waiters who have been waiters in restaurants in Beverly Hills that are walking out with like $10,000 a night in tips, which is insane. So again, understand your demographic. I can try to beat this home all day, but I need you to understand your demographic. And you would be crazy to open up a dollar taco spot in the 90210. These people would easily pay $5, $7 a taco. Just make it presentable, make it look good, and you can sell deconstructed tacos for all I care in the 90210, or a deconstructed burrito and call it $25. It's going to sell there. Those people are probably not going to blink for those items. As we go, yeah, there we go. Average income 148,000. So if you can think of any other zip codes, as I stated before, feel free to search and use this USPS EDDM tool, the Every Door Direct Mailer tool, and it'll give you a breakdown of the route, or how many residences or businesses in that area, and the average age range in that area of the population, 58% between 20 and 55. But let's narrow it even more down. How many 35-year-olds? So it's not too shabby. So it's estimated that 14% in the 90210 zip code, route C076, residentials, the average person that is 20 to 35 years old, the for that demographic neighborhood is going to be 14% population for that neighborhood. For the overall demographic, the average income is 188,000 a year. So that's my breakdown today for two tools that I utilize for getting to know your market better. And again, my name is Marco Antonio. This is Marco Antonio Strategizes. And if you'd like to see this content, please don't forget to subscribe.